Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can achieve all-round success. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with Dr. George Ooko Abong. We're going to be talking about circular economy for food. Food is a critical human need, like oxygen or water. However, the food system that produces the food that we eat is no longer fit for the 21st century. According to reports, for every $1 we spend to produce our food, $2 is spent for economic, health, and environmental costs. So it is not sustainable. A lot of waste are generated when we try to produce our food. So there's a system that needs to change. And what we're talking about today, we're talking about circular economy. It has been predicted, it has been said that it can be used to solve the problem. And so what is circular economy? Circular economy is just an economic system that aims to allow waste to be eliminated. And it also allows for continuous use of resources. We believe that circular economy has the potential to transform the way we produce our food, the way we process our food, the way we transport our food, and also the way we handle our food. So today we're going to be talking about circular economy. And apart from that, we're also going to be talking about other issues. So without wasting time, let's dig in. I'm going to be asking my guest today to tell us about himself. Over to you, Dr. George. Can you just tell us about yourself, where you were born, what you do, and what you would also like our viewers to know about you? Over to you.
Thank you very much, my friend, for a long time. I was born in Kenya, in a small town called Homa Bay, western part, just near the Lake Victoria. That's where I grew most parts of my younger age. Then I moved on to the University of Nairobi, where I pursued food science and technology. And so I did pursue that as a bachelor's course, as a master's, and of course, PhD. On top of that, I also pursued an international course with the University of Ghent, that is in food safety and quality, dealing more with the risk assessment and quality assurance. So currently I work as a senior lecturer at the Department of Food Science, Nutrition and Technology at the University of Nairobi. I also currently chair the department. I also work closely with the Food Science and Technology Platform of Kenya, where I chair the association. And I also sit as an early career scientist with the International Union of Food Science and Technology, that is IUFOST. In a nutshell, that is what I currently do. And most of my work rotates around food science, food development, value addition, post-harvest technology of food. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. You have an impressive impressive CV. You've done a lot. You published more than 55 articles. You published a book. You've done many, many things. And I wonder how you are able to do all these things. And you have 24 hours. You are even also the HOD of your department. Can you tell us the secret of your success?
I think you are exaggerating, because those are humanly possible. And you know, from our famous athlete who said that no human is limited, our famous marathon. So I think one of the things that propel people and which has propelled me is having a positive mindset. We come from humble backgrounds, yes. You grew up barefooted. You never knew shoes until you were in class 6. And of course, I used to have patched clothes all over, including where you sit, you have patched clothes. And sometimes the ants would pinch you from the open parts of the cloth. But having a positive mindset is very critical, because where there is a will, there is always a way. So putting more efforts from a personal perspective, looking at the end, but yet you do not forget the giver of good health and life, that is God. So you combine the positive mindset, you combine the efforts that you have to put in, because it takes a lot of sacrifice. And then you have God who overall will give you good health and life. That is in a nutshell what I can say to just sum it up.
Yeah, and I like the way that you mentioned the place of God. And I know that you are a spiritual person. You know, we can never underestimate the importance of God in our
By the way,
success.
I didn't tell you that I am also a pastor with one of our church.
Okay, you didn't say that. So you're also a pastor.
I did not say that. I am a
Yeah, you
pastor.
did. Yeah,
So I combine everything, spiritual, academic.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's also the grace of God. You know, Paul said,
sure,
"I'm what I am by the grace of God." So of these
sure,
things that we do is just God that is helping us, giving us
correct.
the grace that you're able to do all those things. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. Now to the reason why we came, why we're having these interview, this recording, talking about the circular economy. Can you tell us how circular economy can transform the way we produce our food, the way we process our food, the way we handle our food?
Thank you very much, Tosin. Over the last 3 years, I've been working on a project, we call it Hot Green, which means we're part of a bigger project called Switch Africa Green, mostly being funded from the EU point of view, where they would want anything being exported to the EU is actually produced sustainably. And you had defined what circular economy is. Just to add a bit of it is that circular economy looks at efficiency in use of natural resources. And of course, you look at the efficiency on how you use those natural resources, but for optimal production with sustainability in mind. Having said that, then you would look at the value chain of almost all foods, whether you talk of animal or plant origin, but at the production level, you need to look at the use of what we could call judicious use of inputs. We are talking whether you are doing plant farming, you are looking at fertilizer use, the pesticide use, adoption of conservation agriculture. So at the production level, then we need to adopt things that are going to conserve what we have and which will use only enough as needed. And then when you come to the processing level, we are looking at the sustainable use of natural resources. And the key natural resources that we have found out in our project for the last 3 years is water and energy, because they are renewable. You can renew them, but you can deplete them fully. And so you are looking at, are you able to minimize use of water and energy? And you cannot do that. We are working with MSMEs, which are micro, small enterprises, and we find that they have no records. And we are telling them, you cannot do anything without records. And records will tell you whether you are making any change or you are making any negative impact. So natural resources, water and energy are key because they are actually contributing hugely to the cost of production. So that in processing, we keep on drumming that man must check the natural resources that we are using. And when, and of course, when you are producing some waste. And so the question is, how do you manage the waste? You have to manage the waste. These days, we don't talk about waste disposal as a whole, because you don't have to dispose everything. Some of them can be used for energy production or for fertilizer or compost production. And so we are talking about you can do recycling, you can reuse, you can, at the end of the day, we are saying only dispose as the last resort when it comes to processing. Then when it comes to distribution and handling of foods, it begins from at the factory level. For example, if you are dealing with mass production, it begins with what material are you using for packaging? Is it going to clog the system after it is being used? And to this effect, Tosin, the Kenyan government, for example, took a very drastic measure of banning plastics use. And we are now in a discussion where we are thinking of, as a country, do we need single-use plastics? For example, you are taking water and then you throw it away. So if you travel across Kenya, you will find a lot of plastics along the road because people just take and throw it away. So then you need to think of, what is your packaging material? What is it going to be used for after it is used by the consumer? And then you are looking at the choice of channels of distribution. Are you using sustainable source of fuel? You and I know that for a long time we have been using petroleum, which was having lead, and lead had been shown to have a lot of negative impact on the environment. So today we are using unleaded diesel, unleaded petrol, but those are efforts that we keep on making so that we also make right choices to distribute the food that has been produced in the right manner, using the right channel. So I've just cut across from production to the consumer level. And then the consumer has a role, because most of the pollution that clogs the system can also arise from the consumer. You use single-use plastic and you don't care where you throw it. These days, I find it very offensive for somebody to just throw anything from their car windows. It is terrible. And we have a role to play from even the consumer level. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, for really telling us, what circular economy really means, adding more information to what I really said. You mentioned the project that you guys are involved with the EU. I want to find out, what's the attitude of the food industry in Kenya to circular economy? Are they really trying to adopt it? Sometimes when you have a new project or a new way of thinking, people, don't want to change. How are they taking it? I'm talking about the industry, the food industry in Kenya. Are they really cooperating?
Well, as you say, it is not easy. But when we came in, we did a survey and we found that nobody is bothered about this sustainable production business and consumption business. And so, you are trying to penetrate where people do not bother.
Yeah.
However, out of, we did a training to about 400. Out of them, we were also recruiting some to undergo environmental management system certification. We ended up with about 60, but even in those 60, we are still struggling to drive the message home. And we have said that, okay, we will continue working, even if we only have up to 20 partaking and are able to be certified, we will be okay. So we are in this journey until the mid next year. Probably after the next year, when we have another recording, I will have a different story. So for now, we are still struggling to keep this moving. We normally say to preach the gospel of sustainability and so on. And we hope that something good will come out of it.
Yeah. I like that. Another thing that is just coming to my mind is the importance of precision supply chain management. What I mean by that is that you see the use of modeling, the use of artificial intelligence. That's another way we can really reduce waste. Take, for example, really knowing what the consumers want, knowing what the retailers want, not just producing in bulk, that we, at the end of the day, will really result in waste. So I think one thing that we can really adopt in this circular economy is use of technology, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology. All these things will really help us to really reduce waste, and they are very, very important. What do you want to say about either of artificial intelligence or blockchain? I'm really interested in those technologies.
Those are technologies which is where actually the world is moving towards. From our end, there has been very limited action. So, but those are technologies that I would think that is where the world is moving.
Yeah.
And of course, we need to keep on drumming our minds towards it. We haven't been involved too much on that.
Yeah.
But I know that is where we are headed to. So
Yeah.
we wouldn't sleep on it in that much.
Yeah, that's great. And I want to ask you this question. I want to ask you about an important life lesson that you've learned in the last 5 to 10 years that you just want to share with us.
Yeah, 5 to 10 years is a
Or
long
5 years. Yeah, or maybe 5 years.
quite a good long span.
Okay, maybe let's say 5 years.
All right. But whichever the case, I think consistency and being persistent pays. You don't need to be a jack of all trade to succeed.
Yeah.
You need to be consistent and you need to be persistent. I think that is important for me. And there is no better way to rise up in any system, including corporate ladder, than being systematic in the very small ways you can be. And I have also learned that you don't need to look for magic leap to make a gain. If you make small gains through to the set goal, you will reach somewhere desirable. So what do I mean here is that in life, you must move with a vision, without which you will end up anywhere. So once you have a vision, then you need to be consistent despite the many challenges. Along the way, there are many hurdles. So I go back to those two words, Tosin, consistency and persistence. It pays.
Absolutely. I really agree with you. Consistency and persistence pays. And I'm remembering now the quote of Charles Spurgeon said, by persistence, the snail reached the ark. So persistence is very, very important. We must keep at it. We must not give up. And I think it's a lesson to all young people. You know, in Africa, a lot of young people just want to just get there at once. You know, this microwave age, it doesn't work that way. We must work at it. We must be persistent, and we must, do our work well and work smart. I like the lessons. Very, very important, profound lessons there. And now we're just coming to the end of. Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, that I am saying with a lot of passion, because in the department, I'm one of the youngest, but I chair professors in the department. And sometimes it looks very funny how that happens. But once you become consistent and you do things with integrity, then everybody will come to accept the way where God has put you to lead at that particular time.
Yeah, that's great. I do agree with you. Integrity is also very, very important. Very, very important. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And What's your closing remark for us today?
Well, nice having been invited to this forum. I just want to quote one of the servants of God called Miles Munro. He's now late. Dr. Miles
Yeah.
Munro is one of the people that I follow their teachings quite a lot. Um, um, he said that there is no bad exit even in a road. You know, you have exits. And he said there is no bad exit. But what makes a road or an exit bad or good is the destination. So we can have, if we know our destination, then we can exit at the right exit in the road. Now, that can only happen if you have a plan, you have a vision. Because if you have a plan, you can even change, you can even have alternative plan. But if you have no plan at all, you have no alternative, all right?
Yeah.
And then you end up anywhere doing anything. I think for us, especially if they are young people, you have to plan, have a plan, let that vision be placed before God. You don't ask God for a vision. You don't ask God for a plan. God is waiting for your plan. And then you just say, this is my plan, this is my vision. Then the Lord will direct your steps. That's what I am taught by the Bible. So that is what I would say that we should be able to do. Don't let people plan for you. Can you have a plan and put it before God, and He will direct your steps and establish them. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc, for that advice, godly counsel. I love academics that also love God, that are not ashamed to let people know that they believe in God. Thank you, Doc. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with me. I'm glad that you were able to do it. And to our viewers, we've said it all about secular economy for food. The pandemic presents an opportunity, a golden opportunity for us to reset our food system and for it to be more sustainable. It's going to be hard because we don't like change, but we need to do it for the coming generation. And if we do that, it's going to augur well for all of us. I hope you've learned one or two things from today's edition. See you next time. God bless you.